So we are going to begin in a seated position. So legs crossed. If you feel like just sitting in a seated position feels too much on your body, then sit on a block or a blanket or a pillow to raise your hips up. Hands on the knees, roll the shoulders back, close down the eyes. Take a big inhale through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Sigh out. One more, inhale through the nose. Sigh out, completely relax the shoulders. And come back to your natural breath. And then slowly blink open the eyes. And let's begin. So let's inhale, sweep the hands up above your head. And then exhale, lean it over to one side. It doesn't matter which, just lean it over to one side and take a nice big stretch, feeling a stretch all down the side of the body here. Try not to let your chest collapse inwards. Try to kind of open it up. Long inhales and exhales. Inhale your hands back up and exhale over to the other side. And again, trying to keep your body parallel. It's as if a wall's behind you and you're pushing the whole of your body behind you so that you're not falling forward into your chest. Inhale, hands back up above your head. And then exhale, take a twist. Again, it doesn't matter which side. And then as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, just see if you can twist a little bit more. So one hand's coming behind you, the other's on your knee, and you're kind of using it to pull yourself around a little bit deeper. But just until you feel a slight stretch. So yes, I've managed to send Alexis to school today, but she has been off most of this week. And I thought she had scarlet fever, but she doesn't. It's just a viral infection, thankfully. Inhale your hands up, then exhale them over to the other side. So yeah, I thought she had a really bad cold and she wasn't very well. And then I took her to school yesterday and the teacher was like, oh, is it scarlet fever? Because that's going around at the minute. And we've had a few cases in the class. So I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. So went doctors, but it's fine. She hasn't got that. So luckily it's just a cold. Inhale your hands back up. And exhale, release them down. Okay, so let's come over onto all fours. So shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Spread your fingers wide. Inhale, drop the belly down, look forward. Exhale, reverse. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Inhale, stick the bum out, drop the belly down, look forward. Exhale, reverse. Push into the hands, arch the back. Inhale. And exhale. Just take a couple more at your own pace. Trying to take really long inhales and exhales. And then come to a neutral spine. Bring the hands out slightly further than the shoulders. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So your hands are shoulder width apart. Your feet are hips distance apart. Bend the knees and really push into your hands to try to lengthen through your spine. So it's like you're trying to make one line from your bum all the way to the crown of your head. And then from here is when you can try to start straightening the legs. But if you straighten the legs and your back starts to round like this, we don't want. Okay, so really push into the mat and keep your knees bent if you need to. You can bicycle out the legs, bending into one knee and then the other. And normally when a teacher will say, come into down dog or rest in down dog, that's normally your cue to do what you want. So you can straighten your legs, you can bend your knees, you can bicycle your legs, completely up to you. And then bend into the knees, look towards the top of your hands, take a big step or little steps to the top into a forward fold. So your feet are hip distance apart, slight bend of your knees, release the whole upper back. So let your whole upper body relax and let gravity bring it down towards the floor. Relax your head. Maybe shake your head yes and no, make sure that it's really relaxed. A great thing to do here, if you can, is actually place a hand on top of your forehead and see if you can like roll it around just to check that your neck is loose. And if it doesn't move freely, you've got some tension in your neck. It's just a good little test. And then slowly start to straighten the legs and roll one vertebra at a time, nice and slow, all the way up to a standing position. Come up really slowly. Don't want to get dizzy. Roll the shoulders back. Head comes up to Tadasana pose. So I'm going to go through each of these poses quite slowly and talking about the correct alignment first, and then we can go through a faster sun salutation. So your feet are going to be hips distance apart. Now, I like to keep the inside of my feet parallel, but it's completely up to you. Some people's hips will naturally turn out to the side, so your feet might be coming out slightly, they might come in slightly. Find what feels good for your body. For me, standing parallel feels good for my body. So everybody's going to be slightly different. Slight bend of the knees. Use your toes to kind of grip the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Stand nice and tall. Heard me say this before, but imagine there's a string on top of your head and it's pulling you all the way up. And then I like to reach down with my fingers. So you're really reaching down, muscles working in your arms, and then relax them. And this is your Tadasana pose. So this is mountain pose. Standing strong at the top of your mat. So let's inhale, sweep the hands up and around above your head. Hands come together. Exhale, slight bend of the knees. Fold forward with length in the spine first. And then when you can get no further, then you start to round and release. Okay, so we come back into that forward fold position. And I know some of you might already know how to do sun salutations, but sometimes it's really beneficial going back over the basics. So let's inhale, halfway lift. So that means straighten your legs, your hands come up your legs, your spine lengthens. Now you might be able to do this touching the floor. You might have to grab your thighs. You might even come all the way up. We want length in the legs and length in the spine, no matter where you are. And then on your next exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you can, so your fingertips plant on the ground, and then take your right leg, and take it all the way back. And then you're going to lower your right leg to a low lunge and then untuck the toes. Now, there's plenty of ways to get here. If you find that too difficult, you can come down to your knees, take one leg back, and then bring the other one back up. It doesn't matter how you get there, just get there. So this is a classic sun salutation. A sun salutation A doesn't involve the lunges, but the lunges are a great way to open up the hips, get a little bit more stretching. And if your fingertips don't touch the ground here, use blocks and lift yourself up. So lengthen through the spine. We don't want the spine rounding here. So if your spine is rounding, get some blocks, hold on to a wall, find some books, anything you can to just lift yourself up. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Then we're going to hover over our hands. So it's like you're in a half plank. Keeping your elbows hugging in, you're going to lower down your chin and your chest. Now that's quite a hard movement. Keeping your elbows next to your chest, your bum sticking up, and then you can come down onto your belly. Okay, so I'm going to show you another way now. So from your half plank, if you find that difficult, keep your elbows hanging in, lower down all in one. So it's like you're just doing a slow push up, but all the way down to the belly. What we don't want, if I can turn to the side, is, so if I lower down now, see my elbows, they're staying in line with my body. We don't want them coming out to the side. Okay, keep them in nice and tight and lower all the way down. It's like you're trying to squeeze your arms next to your body. So you can take whichever variation you need to. This is your vinyasa, okay? So you're gonna come down all the way down to the floor, and your hands end up next to your chest. Looking more towards the top of your mat. Now we've got the different kind of cobras. So you've got baby cobra. Ground down through your feet, your knees come up off of the mat, ground down through your pelvis, your chest comes up off the mat. My belly is still on the mat here. Slight rounding in the upper back, baby cobra. If you push into your hands and come up a little bit more, keep your elbows bent and again, hugging in, not to the side. This is your higher cobra. Exhale back down. I'm going to show up dog in the next round. So for now, we'll stick to that because whenever I go through this, the first round is always baby cobra or higher cobra. Push back onto your knees. Toes together, knees wide, child's pose. Sit your hips back towards your bum and then rest your forehead on the mat and release everything here. So this is your child's pose, your resting pose. So you don't want any muscle tension, so release everything. If you do find that you struggle getting your hips down to your heels, you can place a block in between because that will lift you up higher and allow you to fold forward more. So this is your resting pose. You can always come to child's pose before coming back into downward facing dog. So lifting back up onto all fours, downward facing dog. We are going to go through this quicker, but I just want to go through it a bit slower first. Inhale the right leg up behind you. Bend the right knee. Come onto the fingertips of the right hand. This is just going to give you a bit more space to be able to swing that right leg up and place it in between your hands. Now, when we're doing that, we're also arching the back like in our cat pose so that you've got a little bit more space to get your leg up there. If you need to come down onto all fours and then just walk that leg forward, do that. Plenty of options. Just do whatever you can, whatever your body needs to do to get that leg forward. And then remember, lengthen through the spine, looking ahead. Couple breaths here. Now, normally this would be one breath per pose, which we will do in a little bit. So just tuck the left toes, come up off of the knee, take a few rocks, just to give yourself a bit of momentum to rock that left leg forward into a forward fold. So it meets the right, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. So we've already gone through this one. Straighten the legs, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, slight bend of the knees. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up, come up to standing, hands above your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, I'm going to do that again, this time starting with the left leg first. So find your Tadasana pose. Nice and strong, slight bend of the knees. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, so bend the knees as much as you need to. Left leg steps all the way back first. Lower the left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Right leg steps back to meet the left. Hover over your hands, half plank. Find which variation worked for you. Lower chin and chest, or lower all in one, cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, back down. Push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Or you can come into child's pose. Now, I don't know if any of you have watched my YouTube video about getting from cobra to down dog. I'm going to go through that in a second. Feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg raises up high. Come onto the fingertips of your left hand, just to give yourself a bit more space. Arch the back, bring that left leg through, plant it in between your hands. Lower your your right knee. Low lunge, lengthen through the spine. Tuck the toes of your right foot, come up off of the knee. A few rocks just for a bit of momentum to rock it forward next to the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Hands come down by the side, Tadasana. So classic sun salutation, which is what this one is so common in yoga. It's a great movement to know, because then even if you can't get to a yoga class, you can just repeat sun salutations. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, right leg steps all the way back, lower the right knee, low lunge. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Hover over your hands. Now you can lower chin and chest all in one, or you can tuck your toes, and I'm going to show you chaturanga. So from chaturanga, you're into plank. Okay, so come to plank first, and then you want to lower down the same way. Keep your elbows in, but you want to use your toes to lean forward over your wrists first. Lower halfway down so your elbows are above your wrists, and then you can come into either cobra or up dog, which up dog is just your hands and your feet on the mat. Now don't get confused. To start off with the basic, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. From up dog, you can then roll over your toes into downward facing dog. But if you're in cobra with your legs on the floor, you want to exhale down to the mat first, then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. I'm just going to show you that one more time with the chaturanga. So you're going to roll forward into plank, come over your wrists, lower halfway, and then inhale to cobra or up dog. Up dog is just your hands and your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now that's a lot more strength needed. Don't feel like you have to do that one. Inhale the right leg up behind you. And then place the right foot up in between the hands, lower the left knee. Tuck the toes of the left foot, come up off of the knee, a few rocks, rock it forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. So this time around, we're going to do whatever you feel comfortable doing. So let's inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Left foot steps back first. Lower the left knee, low lunge. Right knee comes back to meet the left. Take your vinyasa. So your vinyasa means lower down however you want. Come into cobra, baby cobra, up dog. And then we meet back in downward facing dog. So a vinyasa is that sequence. It's how you lower down in chaturanga, your cobra, baby cobra or up dog, and then meeting in downward facing dog. So if you ever hear a teacher say, take your vinyasa, that's what they mean. Obviously you can rest in child's pose at any point. Feet together at the back of the mat. Inhale the left leg up. Bring the left foot in between the hands, lower the right knee. Tuck the toes of the right foot, come up off of the knee, take a few rocks, rock it forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to go through that one more time. This time maybe ever so slightly quicker, because when you do a sun salutation, it's meant to be one breath per movement. So I'm going to be doing it in a baby cobra style, but you take whichever vinyasa you want to take. So let's inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, right leg steps back. Exhale, the left leg back, hover over your hands. Exhale, down to the mat. Inhale to your cobra or whichever one you're taking. Exhale back down. Push back up onto your knees, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up high behind. Exhale it in between your hands. Lower your knee. A big inhale here. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Left leg steps all the way back. Open them hips. Right knee steps back to meet the left. Take your vinyasa. So lower down in chaturanga however you want. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale back to your knees. Skip the down dog, go straight to your knees. Toes together, knees wide. Sit your hips back, child's pose. So lower your head down to the mat. Relax the whole upper body. Just take a moment here just to relax all the muscles. So sun salutations can also be a great meditation, because when you know the moves and you can completely flow through them one breath at a time, it is a moving meditation. You can completely focus on what you're doing, what your body's feeling, block out the outside world. It's a really great sequence to know and understand. And also taking it at your own pace, but also how your body feels. Don't ever feel like you have to do full chaturangas all the time, or you have to be able to step into the perfect low lunge. If you need to lower to your knees to get into your low lunge, then do that. And then bring your head up, use your hands to just sit back onto your heels for a moment, lengthen up the spine, roll the shoulders back. Take a big inhale through the nose, sigh it out, and let's come over onto our backs. Just slowly lower down, hug the knees in, and then just take a few circles with the knees. So keeping your knees together and just making small circles just to massage the low spine and the tailbone. And reverse your circle. And then bring your knees up to a 90-degree angle, so like tabletop, arms in line with your shoulders. Drop your knees to one side, doesn't matter which, and look up to the ceiling, or if you want a little bit more, you can look over your opposite shoulder. And then close down the eyes. And again, in this position, you're letting your body relax, so don't hold on to any tension. Every exhale, just see if you can get your body to relax a little bit more. Feel your heart beating. Notice how your breath is. Inhale your legs back up to center. And drop them over the other side. And again, you can either look up to the ceiling or look over your opposite shoulder. And just notice if this side feels any different. I'm not trying to change anything, just noticing. Bring your knees back up to center. You can take any last movements that you want to here. You can hug the knees in nice and tight. You can take a quick happy baby if you want, maybe roll in the knees. Just take any last little position. And then slowly taking your legs out long. Let your feet flop open. Arms come down by the sides, maybe tucking your shoulder blades under. Close down the eyes. Take a big inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. Do that one more time. Biggest inhale that you've taken today. And let it go. Completely empty your lungs. Get out every last bit of breath. And then come back to your natural breath. Let's just make sure that we're not holding on to any tension. So relaxing all the muscles in the toes, and the bottoms of the feet, the top of the feet, the ankles, the low legs, the knees, the upper legs, pelvis, your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, the whole of your back, the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. Softening all the muscles in the neck, in the jaw, the cheekbones. Softening the eyes and the eyebrows. And all the muscles of the forehead and the whole of the skull. Bring your attention to your breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale, the rising of the stomach muscles, the body benefits from movement, but the mind benefits from stillness. So just slowly start to deepen the breath. Slowly wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe take a nice big stretch up overhead if that feels nice. Slowly rolling over onto one side. And pushing yourself up to a seated position. And blinking open the eyes if you haven't done so already. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up above your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Namaste.